Hello everyone, welcome to Nixie Bob's, where my battery pack is refusing to cooperate with my camera. This is scary because I have no battery left in this camera. Stop doing this to me. You should be working. There is no reason for you not to work. In fact, you are working now, I hope. I'm just going to put you there so that I can keep a watch of you throughout this recording. But today I am going to review, swatch and discuss something that a few of you asked me to talk about. It is not a new product by any standards of the imagination. It is in fact quite well, it's a few years old now, but it's one of my first products from this brand, which is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. This has been out a fair few years, as mentioned, but I have only just recently purchased it, and when I said that obviously I'd had a makeup day at Kat Von D, a few of you asked me if I could please talk about the foundation so that we could have a little chat. Now, something to tell you that's actually quite funny about me in this foundation. When I was colour matched for this, I was matched to a 44. So the silly moo that I am, I went out and bought a 42. Which is actually, I think, if I'm right, they kind of go one pink, one yellow, one pink, one yellow in undertones. I thought that was my door for a second. It's not. Basically, I've still picked the cooler undertone one. It's just that I picked it 2 shades lighter. Now, this is a good thing as it turns out, because this oxidizes quite a lot when it's on. So although when initially put on, as you'll see, it makes me look very whited out, give it an hour or two and it literally marries itself to my natural skin tone. Looks okay. There's my phone. Thank you. In fact, it's actually smarter, I feel, if you buy this a slight shade lighter than you actually want it, because it will end up what you want in the long run. If I had ended up buying the 44, I would probably be sitting here feeling like I felt like it oxidized too much to my skin. Obviously, as well as the winter months are coming, let's all get Game of Thrones excited, for winter is coming, because the winter actually does come in this country. Obviously, I will get paler than I already am. The funny thing is that if I move my watch here, you'll see that I actually have a slight colour line, or not. I don't know if you can see that, whether it shows up on camera. So yeah, I am going to get paler as it gets colder, which is fine. Now, I have been using this for a little while, so you'll have to excuse the fact that the packaging is slightly dirty. So one thing I actually quite like about this is this little stopper that you have. So you can lock it, you can literally seal this up. Just don't ever lose this stopper, basically. I like the design of it. I don't think you can twist it around or move it, to my knowledge, but I don't know very much at all. Now, the Light 42, let's swatch a little bit on my skin. So this is how it comes out, and this is what it looks like. Now, Kat Von D do go up to actually a 40, which is super lighter than this. So this is it when we start to blend it in. Let's just get my number 7 sponge on there. So now it's obviously in my skin. It actually marries in very, very well. As a formula, this is thick and very well pigmented. Now, it's not thick to the point of feeling heavy. I think the only time a foundation can ever truly feel heavy is if you apply it too heavy. That is my opinion of that matter. I always feel like, you know, if you only apply a little bit and spread it out, well, you can make it as sheer or as heavy as you want to. It is literally down to how you as a person apply your foundation. I try to keep mine as to a natural base as I can, like a natural skin tone. I don't like to look flat and over applied. That is not my aesthetic in life. The one thing I will say with this is that I do have to add shading to my cheeks, which is something you guys will know I never ever do, to blend this out a little bit better once it's first applied, because I say it does look extremely pale. So what I'm going to do to show you the toning of this, I thought I would do a half and half of my foundation. Obviously, I've got a primer, I've done my under eye concealer, and I've done my eyes in general, but we still have to do foundation and base. So the way I do this personally, this is all I apply to do literally this part of my face. I will then do another bit for my forehead there, and I'm going to put one slight bit for my nose. And this is all I am going to use. This is all I need, and this will cover everything, believe it or not. I am having a particularly good skin day as well. I've got no real uglies going on, apart from Fault Rock under my nose here, which thankfully covers quite well. So I'm quite happy about that. It wasn't like when I had Fault Rock up here and it was like, bah, there I am, like some big alien sticking out of my head. No, we're not at that stage. So for me, I like to use, as you know, my number 7 sponge. my favourite number 7 sponge. It has been pre-dampened. So you'll see when this is going on how pale it's making me look initially. I'm going to come down under my chin here, just come to half of my chin, half of my nosy. I'm not going to take this under my eyes, I'm literally stopping here because I already have under eye concealer on, so I really don't need to do anything more. And that is half my face done. So it actually after having said what I just did, you can't actually see where it is and isn't, I don't think. I always just give this a quick buff through just to make sure it's settling on. If you can see any dry patches around my mouth, my lips are very bad. My anxiety thing of doing this has been very bad recently. There's been stuff going on, so I think that's a cause of it, but I don't know. It's not that I'm dehydrated or not having enough nutrient, because I am. I actually just bought the Decli or Intense Nutrition lip stuff. That should be coming tomorrow, so that's going to be one that we may have a little chat about in the future. In a few small pumps of that, I've done half my face. It's covered really well, and yes, I do look a little pale, but this is, I've literally done this side and not this side, and it's actually not that much of a difference. I really thought it was going to stand out and look quite white. You can see it when I do this. Maybe the reason my camera battery is doing that is because actually I've killed the battery permanently. So the other good thing I like about this is that it sets on the skin quickly and quite well. I still always give myself a flourish of a light powder like Laura Geller Balance and Glow, just really to settle it in. But, you know, I'm not sitting here feeling like I'm an oil slick, for example. I could just touch my skin and not leave prints, which is lovely, because I hate that when you put like probably a super dewy foundation, which isn't my kind of aesthetic or favoritism. I tend to like things that are a little bit more matte and drying, because I do get an oily base as the day wears on, and obviously where I work, I naturally sweat a lot because the building is quite warm and quite humid, so I need something that's going to really stay throughout the day. And this definitely does do that. It is more of a matte, which I love. Locket definitely says that on the tin, quite literally. So let's go ahead and finish. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to have a quick line, and I'm going to do one spot on the nose. I'm going to dab it in, just as I did the other side. Get under the nose to rock a second. Come round. Does anybody know if Kat Von D does a red eyeshadow? I'm guessing that she does, because it would be a Kat Von D all over type thing to have. I just don't, I want to buy more of the brand, but purse strings and whatnot. I am obviously coming across just to make sure my lines are seamless, where I only did half the face initially to show you guys. There is the full face done, and when the full face is on, you can see that I am looking just a little bit pale, and you can definitely see it when I would be like to hold my hand up, for example. I'm doing some epic pose there, right? Posing, just not my taste. As said, once this goes on, it's really settling well, but I do just give myself a quick flush of a powder foundation, or sometimes even a setting powder. The Locket powder, translucent powder, is something I do want to buy. They do a travel size small one, which is something I'm looking to get so that I can try it first and then commit. But I will say, comparing something like Bare Minerals to the translucent powder, so with Bare Minerals you get something like 9 grams in the SPF pot. The Kat Von D is something like 19 grams for almost the same amount of money, which is a very, very good price when you think about it. If you get through a lot of setting powder, if you use them as bait powders under your eyes, and you can use it in the same fashion, it's definitely a worthwhile purchase of your money. So that's helping set that on. Now, its comfortability throughout the day is something that I always like to discuss. I don't have befores and afters as of this moment to go through with you, but I can tell you that having worn this for, I think, the last month I've had this now, it lasts phenomenally. I don't get any fur, as I call it, across here. It doesn't dissolve or disapparate or start fading across the face. My nose does get oily, but it doesn't patch hugely, which is something that I love. It does not feel heavy, but obviously I have applied it quite thinly, so it's not going to feel heavy. If I applied another layer on top of this, and a thicker layer at that, then yeah, it would probably start to feel heavy. Think Becca's complexion creme, and you're getting a similar type of thing there. Because another one you could liken this to is Urban Decay's All Nighter. I can't actually believe I've sat here and said to you this looks too pale on me, but now I've got it on, it don't look too pale at all. And I've been using this, as I said, for a month, and every time I put it on I'm going, oh my god, I'm pale. It really does wear well. When they say lock it, it's not a lie. It literally locks to your skin and stays there. The colour variation spectrum I think is fantastic, and I think the spectrum from light to dark in this is really, really desirable. There are some foundations, I can't even remember what I was saying. There are a lot of foundations. I mean, Tarte's Shape Tape foundation, for example, got a huge outcry when it first came out because the spectrum was not broad enough. This definitely has a really, really good spectrum that I've seen. I mean, certainly thinking of my end, the paler end, if you're pale beyond me pale, like think very, you know, goth pale, and I don't want to sound evil when I say that, you know, there's a shade for you in the 40 there. If you have a darker skin tone, there's a shade for you at the other end right there. They definitely have a great range, and you need minimal product of this to do a great coverage. I mean, that's covered under my nose very well. You literally can't almost see it. My smile line here isn't too pronounced. Everything sits on really well, and contrary to what I was saying at the start of the video, the shading really is flattering as of right now. Perhaps I've just gotten paler as the sun's gone in, but the sun apparently is coming back to England. What I tend to do, and it's a taboo on this channel, is the word contour, but I do add a slight shade to this area of my face just really to help this not look as pale. So I have Smashbox's contour and cheek thing, which is from last year's Christmas set, which was the film roll type thing. So I go to the contour shade and not the bronze shade, that was my phone again. And I will lightly dust in with this brush. This came with the Benefit blush bar. And I'll just get a light shade in just here to help create more of a shade on my face to break up the paleness of this foundation. But I'm not going to use it hugely or to a massive extent. So I'm literally barely touching my face with this. I'm getting in the lightest shading of this that I possibly can. And as said, I don't do with this in any other foundation. It is only this to help break up the pale. And then just a little bit across the forehead. The thing I like about this brush is its fluffiness, because it means that I can get a light dusting over the face without looking too much. So it's practically, it's not too pronounced. It's there, but not there, if that makes sense. Sometimes I also use the blush shade with this. I'm not going to do that today because I'm really not feeling like blush. So instead I'm going to use Dandelion Twinkle, which broke. I don't know when my Benefit Dandelion Twinkle broke. I'm actually quite heartbroken that it is broke. However, it does give me another product to buy if Benefit bring 3 for 2 back this Black Holiday. Black Friday, which is obviously a couple of months away, but I'm already thinking about it. I'm just going to give myself a light highlight there, and that's going to break it up a little bit more. So all in all, I would totally rate this. I give this a 9 out of 10. As you know, if you come to this channel before, I do not rate something or give you a good impression on something if I do not feel it. I do feel it is worth its price tag, because you do not need to use excessive amounts of this if you do want to use it for every day. If you're trying to do a glammed up look more better than I can do, then you know, you can use more, you can be comfortable with it. It's going to set there, it's going to be comfortable, it's not going to feel too heavy depending on how you apply it. But I am in love with this. This would be a repeat buy. I want more. I want more Kat Von D. Someone give me more. But yes, I am very pleased with it. I think it's definitely a really good foundation, and I don't often get on with liquid foundations. I seem to be expanding the repertoire of them all the time, but it is definitely a lovely product and worth your money. My only piece of advice I would say with this is, if you're thinking about buying it, buy a shade or 2 down from where you were. If you're a pinker end, just go slightly 2 shades lighter to the next pink shade down. If you're the cooler undertone or the yellow, whatever one it is, I don't really know, go the next yellow undertone down. So I think it's the even numbers are the pinker undertones and the odd numbers are the yellow undertones. I know nothing. Don't ask me to shade match, guys. I'm rubbish at that, but love it. Just wanted to give you a little talk and give you what you wanted, which you wanted me to talk about this, so I did. There you go. Thank you everyone for being here and watching quite possibly a car crash, because I'm hungry and I'm thinking about my lunch, which is cooking downstairs. If you'd like me to talk about anything more, let me know. You know what, the one thing I'm actually wanting to do you remember when I did a What the Hell Is It video on LOL last year? I am getting very obsessed with the new version of LOL. I think this is generation 4, which is the Under Wraps series, and it's like a private eye spy type thing. They look so complicated. I have to get one. I have to get one and open it on this channel. I'm not really a toy channel, but LOL dolls fascinate my life. And when you get like little retro ones, like my little Go-Go girl up here, I kind of get, kids' toys fascinate me. And I would love to be able to afford to have a toy channel, but I just don't. My phone has not stopped going off all video. But yeah, that's one thing I'm definitely looking to be doing in the near future. We should have some fun with that. If there's any type of makeup look you would like me to see me do, let me know. I keep saying I want to do Instagram makeup for fun because it is not my thing. But I think trying to do like an Instagram foundation would be interesting. So let me know if you're wanting to see that. But please note, it would be tongue-in-cheek, it would be funny, it would not be serious. But I'll see everyone. See you later, everyone. Bye.